jobless rate now at 9%. You gave a speech on Friday in Georgia, and you said the following about this president.
You want to be a country that creates food stamps, in which case, frankly, Obama is an enormous success. The most successful food stamp president in American history. Or do you want to be a country that creates paychecks?
First of all, you gave a speech in Georgia with language a lot of people think could be coded racially tinged language, calling the president, the first black president, a food stamp president.
Oh,
what did you mean,
David,
and what was the point?
That's bizarre. This kind of automatic reference to racism, this is the President of the United States. The President of the United States has to be held accountable. Now, the idea that, and what I said is factually true, 47 million Americans are on food stamps. 1 out of every 6 Americans is on food stamps. And to hide behind the charge of racism, I have never said anything about President Obama which is racist.
Well, what did you mean?
Well, it's very simple. He has policies, and I used a very direct analogy. He follows the same destructive political model that destroyed the city of Detroit. I follow the model that Rick Perry and others have used to create more jobs in Texas.
Well, I mean, I don't know how else to explain this, Richard, except that he's an altacock, and that he's got his ideas so old, so yesterday. He's still talking like Reagan and food stamps and welfare queens and all that lingo we went through back in the 70s and 80s. We all got tired of it, all had that tinge to it we didn't like, and we dropped it. I mean, as a country, dropped it. The right wing even dropped it. They stopped talking in this dog whistle like only the white racists were going to hear you, because everybody hears you now. They know what the whistle sounds like. Is Newt just out of date, or is he deliberately using this dog whistle in a way that he thinks he knows exactly what he's doing? He doesn't care what we think.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I don't think this was racism. I give him the benefit on the doubt.
Food stamps?
I think it was ludicrous. That's what I think it was, because the idea that any president...
So you're going with the altacock theory that he's just so old he doesn't know the lingo he's using.
Not just that he's old, but the idea that any president, least of all this one, would want to have a country that is so reliant on food stamps, as if he created the recession, as if he wants people to be on this. No,
Richard, when's the last time you heard the 2 words food stamps used in a national dialogue of any kind, a debate, right, left, or center? Last time you heard it?
I've heard people talk about the number of food stamps, because it is a shocking amount of people.
How long ago did you hear it? How long ago did you hear it?
Last couple of months. But a serious debate about food stamps. It's not like this is part of their economic policy. You've got to help people who are in the long-term unemployed who need this kind of assistance. It's not, I just don't think this is a declarative position.
Josh, you're a new breed. I haven't heard food stamps discussed. I don't say since the last racist guy tried to play the card. I mean, I can't remember the last time it was talked about.
Newt would
it has
be
a
owed the
particular
benefit of the
tinge
doubt
to it.
if this were the only thing. But the thing is that Newt can't seem to come up with a way of criticizing President Obama that doesn't have some race tinge to it. He's the avatar of Detroit. He's the food stamp president. He's a two-bit hustler.
Mindset.
He's
the
got the Kenyan,
guy.
the Kenyan anti-colonial worldview. You know, it's like one of these things. There's some people who, like, you know, they're not looking for trouble, but trouble always finds them. You know, maybe this isn't on purpose on Newt's part, but he's got awfully bad luck, because he can't seem to find any way to criticize President Obama that doesn't have some whole history of race tinge behind it.
Just one more shot at Richard. Richard, when he talked about the predictive model of the Kenyan anti-colonial, would you call that tingy, a little bit tingy?
No, that's clearly racist. There's no question about it. And ludicrous. He did both.
Okay, thank you, sir. I love it when you agree with me. Richard Wolff, as always, and even with your own sometimes. Josh Marshall, thanks a lot. Up next, President Obama's got a new spring in his step, according to Saturday Night Live, after catching Bin Laden and killing him, actually, at least on Saturday Night Live. Very funny segment coming up. I'm here in Philadelphia because I have to say there's a proud father. My daughter just graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, magna cum laude. And by the way,